Okay, so today we're going to do law of cosines. I just pushed record. So yesterday we did law of sines. So this is just another bonus material. It's just extra. This is pre-calculus. You will see this in pre-calculus. It has also been known to be on the tests that you need to get into college. So today, law of cosines. I actually like this better than law of sines. So this is law of cosines. It looks a little scary, maybe. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine A. So notice if I start with side A, I've got to finish with that angle A, the opposites. The BC in the middle, there's BC right there too. If I'm looking at angle B, I would have to start with b squared. If I'm looking at angle C, I have to start with c squared. So it looks a little scary, huh? Do you guys remember what you would do? Say I had x squared equals 144. What do you do? No, what do you do to solve that?
Square root.
You square root it. Okay.
Let's go.
So just making sure you know that, because we actually won't be solving for a squared. We'll be solving for a eventually, and b or c. Okay, so you can't use the law of cosines whenever you want. You will use law of cosines if you have side, side, side. So if you're given 3 sides, or if you're given side, angle, side. So with law of sines, we used it for angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So this one's a little bit different. So side, 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 angle, side. So we're going to do a couple of examples, and then we'll look at problems on your worksheet. So let's look at this. So I'm going to use the law of cosines to find the length of CB. So this is the side I'm going to find. So since that's capital A, I'm going to call this little a. You guys okay with that? So my formula says that a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cos A.
That's so long.
That's kind of long, right? So I'm going to find the side. A squared equals. So these are my 2 sides. So do you see how the side across from capital B would be little b? So I'm going to have 17 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 17 times 28. So I'm just doing those 2 sides again. Times cosine of that angle, 91. So you guys got calculators ready? All right. You're going to have to help me out. So 17 and 28 are the numbers. I got to remember that. So we'll do 17 squared. Let's all make sure we can type this in. Plus 28 squared. So those 2 numbers that you use, then it's minus 2 times those 2 numbers times 17 times 28. And then times cosine of the angle. What was the angle?
91.
It was 91? Okay.
Yes.
91.
That's 911.
That's 911. Thank you. That's 911. Okay, hit enter. That is not my answer, though. That is what a squared is. So what do I do if I just want a? You square root it. So I'm going to do second x squared, and then I want this answer to plug in there. Do you remember how to plug in the answer?
Second.
Good. Second negative. So 33.
I got it. Let's go.
That length would be 33. So that's how you do it if you need a side.
I got a different answer.
You probably typed something in wrong.
I hope I did.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, we'll look at it. Hopefully, when we start doing problems, we'll look at those. Okay, but what if we need to do an angle? If we need an angle, it's going to be a little bit different. So let me do one example with an angle, and then we will look at problems on your assignment together, I promise. So this time I want to find angle A. So that's the angle that I want to find. So we always have to start with that side directly opposite the angle that I want to find. So I'm going to start with 14 and say 14 squared equals. So that would be my a squared. So I'm still using this. 14 squared equals, then I'm going to do this side. 9 squared plus, I've got to do this side. I can't read that number.
6.
Thank you. 6 squared minus 2 times both of those numbers. And then it's times cosine A. I don't know that angle, so I just have to leave it. So we've got a little bit of calculator work. What is 14 squared? What's 14 times 14?
196.
196. Remember, before Algebra 2, it would be great if you memorize the perfect squares up to 20. It's going to help you, and I promise it'll help you. So 14 squared is 196. What's 9 squared?
81.
81. What's 6 squared?
36.
36 minus, somebody do 2 times 9 times 6. So 18 times
108.
108. And then cosine A. All right, so I'm still doing math. What's 81 plus 36?
100.
117.
117 minus 108 times cosine A. Now I've still got to solve. I'm solving for cosine A. So I'm going to minus 117 on both sides. What's 196 minus 117?
79.
79 equals negative 108 cos A. So if I had, what if I had 79 equals negative 108x? What would I do to solve that? No. I would divide, because these are multiplied together.
Yes.
So I got to do the same thing. I have to divide by negative 108. So I'm going to do that step in my calculator. 79 divided by negative 108. Negative 108. And you're going to get a decimal that's less than 1.
Let's go.
What do you do if you have to find the angle? What button do you push?
Second.
So I'm going to do second cos, because it's cosine this time. Second answer. I've got to take that answer and plug it in. So my angle is 137 degrees. That's a lot of work, isn't it? I don't know why. This is my favorite. I like this stuff. 137 degrees. Okay, so we're going to do some on your assignment together. So what did you learn in school today? Not enough. They want me to go back tomorrow. All right, let's look at your assignment. So the first, let's see. Can you tell which ones you're going to have to use the second button on?
Yep.
So you'll have to use the second button on which numbers? 2, 3, 6, and that might be it.
Maybe 7 and 8, depending on what they want.
Oh yeah, they just want side A and side C, so we'll be good. So only on those we'll have to use the second button. So let's do like number 1 together, and maybe number 7 or 8 together.
1, 2, and 7 and 8.
1, 2, 7.
And then yeah, I'll do a couple of the finding the angles. Okay, so we'll do 2 finding the sides, 2 finding the angles, and then
Can we just
hopefully
do the
go
first
to
6 together?
Do what?
Can we just do the first 6 together?
No, thank you. Okay, so I want to
That's not
find the
helping, okay.
side across from angle A. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
So we start with this side right here. So I don't know where I'm going to squeeze this at. So I'm going to write it right here. X squared equals. And then you're going to take your 2 sides. It really doesn't matter which side you start with. So I'll have 12 squared plus 14 squared, or 14 squared plus 12 squared. I don't care. So 12 squared plus 14 squared. And then it's always a minus sign there. 2, and then you have to use those 2 sides again, 12 and 14. And then it's cosine, what's the angle? 62. So I just use these 2 sides. I have 12 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times those numbers, and then cosine of the angle. So we could actually just type that whole thing in the calculator, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the numbers are 12 and 14, so I kind of know this. So if I already know the numbers are 12 and 14, I know what to type in the calculator. So I've got 12 squared. You want to try to type it in and make sure you can get it?
Sure.
So 12 squared plus, what's the other number? 14? 14 squared
Yep.
minus 2 times each of those numbers. 2 times 12 times 14. And then times cosine, what was the angle? 62. So 182, is that my answer?
Yeah.
No.
I gotta square root it because that's what x squared is. So second
13.5.
x squared, second answer. Yeah, 13.5. It's not too bad because you can just type it in the calculator. It's just long. It's just long. This is pre-calculus though. This is what you guys will be doing in 2 years. Not next year. Next year algebra 2.
We did number 2.
Yeah. Do you want me to do number 2 right now or another one like this?
Right now.
Okay, let's do number 2. Okay, so this is one where we're going to have to use the second button. The angle that I have to find is this angle. So the side you start with has to be opposite that angle. So do you see the 10? That's where I'm going to start. 10 squared equals. Now I use those other two sides, 11 and 12. And it doesn't matter if I do 11 squared plus 12 squared or 12 squared plus 11 squared. It doesn't matter. So 12 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times each of those numbers. And then it's cos angle B this time. So the thing is, you always have to start with that side across from the angle that you want to find. So what is 10 squared?
100.
100. What's 12 squared?
144.
Yay. What's 11 squared?
121.
Yay. Now you're going to have to do 2 times 12 times 11. I don't know what that is. 2 times 12 times 11. 264. So put a minus sign. Minus 264 cos B. Well, I can combine 144 and 121. So 144 and 121 would be what? 265 minus 264
One cos
B. Now I've still got to solve. So I've got to take this 265 and minus it on both sides. It's feeling like algebra a little bit.
Yeah.
What's 100 minus 265? Negative 165. Negative 264 cos B. So what's our final step? Divide. So divide both sides by negative 264. I'm going to do that in my calculator too. So negative 165 divided by negative 264. Divided by negative 264. Did you guys get 0.6? Okay, so now I need to find the angle. So what button do we push? So second cos, second answer.
51.3.
51.3, that's our angle. So you have 2 more that's like that, that's going to be super long. Other than that, you'll be able to just type it in the calculator.
Mathematics.
Do you want me to help you set one more up? Which number would you start with on number 3? Yes, the 16. Good, yeah. So 16 squared equals, and then you just do those other 2 sides. So it doesn't matter if you do 18 squared plus 24 squared or 24 squared plus 18 squared. Minus 2 times 18 times 24 cos C. So really, it's just plugging in the calculator. I only gave you 8 problems today. So that's not too bad, is it? Do you guys know what 16 squared is? 256. Yeah. Did you know that without the calculator? No. I don't know 18 squared actually. I should.
You said to learn all the-
324.
You said to learn all of the
I know it will help you in algebra 2. Oh my goodness, my boys, I had them memorize it and that helped them so much in algebra 2. I don't remember why.
I
I
know
think maybe when they were doing radical stuff. But I know there's a lot of cube root stuff too. So they learned several of the cubes.
I know up to 11.
You know up to 11 or 12. You know 12. 13. 169.
Yeah, 12
No.
is where I saw.
What's cool about 13 squared is 169, and then 14 squared is 196. So, anyway, if you learn those, then. Okay, have fun working on the calculator. Like I said, this is just extra. You are not tested on this. It's just extra. It's a pre-calculus. Hopefully you thank me when you get to pre-calculus.
No, I would.